Welcome back, and thanks for joining me in the second video in the Lost and Found series. I'm glad you're with us today. You know, in the first video, I shared with you my experience of losing keys. And a couple of things about that, if you remember. First was the great fear and shame I felt. And then also, when I thought I'd lost those keys forever, that shame and fear. And then also the great joy I had when my friend yelled from the back porch in that weird corner, I found them. You know, I also said in that video, and I want to reiterate here in this video, I think that really demonstrates well that illustration and a modern day example of the fact that God is looking for people, like I was looking for those keys. And it also shows us the great joy there is when we are found by Him and when we return to that kind of God. You know, why don't you join us now as we dive into the text of Luke 15 and we see Jesus begin a series of 3 short stories that talk about lost and found things and a God looking for people.
Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming to hear him, but the Pharisees and the experts in law were complaining, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Now there's really one important thing about the setting I want you to get from these verses. Jesus is speaking to 2 different groups of people, but with one single message. Everyone is lost. We have one group called tax collectors and sinners. These were people that were rejected by the leaders of their day and their community in general, but they were coming to Jesus and happy to be with him. The second group is called Pharisees and experts in the law. These people are the religious elite of their day who interpreted and applied the law for the common person. The problem is they thought they were better than everybody else. Notice the contrast here in the text, coming versus complaining. And so, Jesus responds to the complaint of the Pharisees and experts in the law. Now, what's their problem with him? Well, Jesus welcomes the tax collectors and sinners that they can't stand, and they have judged them to be outside the law and therefore unrighteous. What about you? Do you fall into one of these groups of people? Are you like the complainers because you think you're better than everybody else? Do you follow the rules and tend to look down on anyone who doesn't keep your standards? Or maybe you just think you deserve good rewards and have a good karma going on, but you exclude people who don't fit into your circles. And no matter where you fall, you let this attitude keep you from Jesus and to see your need for him. On the other hand, are you a social outcast because you don't quite fit in? Are you disliked in your community because of some of the choices you've made, your profession, or your lifestyle? How will Jesus show both groups that they are lost and communicate their need for him? Well, he does that in a couple of short stories. So, with religious leaders and outcasts in mind, let's move on to the third video.